everybody. Welcome to the first session of our brand new Inspectors campaign that Jim has so greatly volunteered to run for my channel. I'm very excited. I have wonderful players here. We're just gonna go around and introduce ourselves, say who we are, pronouns, all that good stuff, and then I'm going to hand it over to Jim. I'm Katie. I use she, her pronouns. I'm going to be playing Dahlia, who I know nothing about. I made this character up besides the name this morning. And she also goes by she, her pronouns. What about you, Sophie?
Hi, I'm Sophie. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Fran. And I don't know really who she is either, but then again, we'll just find that out. And she's also she, her pronouns.
Matthias.
Hi, I'm Matthias, he, him, and I'm playing Live Erickson. No, not that Live Erickson, a different modern day one. I have to do this every time. Someone always knows them. Also he, him, though. Yeah.
And Elle.
Hi, I'm Elle. I use these are pronouns. I'm playing Vic Delaney. He uses Cocos pronouns.
And last but not least, over to Jim to take it away.
Greetings, civil servants. I am Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing everybody else, pretty much. And to that end, oh yes, let me go ahead and start our little thing here. I just was completely not thinking, and now here we go. Okay, welcome to Inspectors. We have this is going to be a slight variation we're doing on it. It's as everyone's going to be government employees with the Public Works Department. And this is it seems that they're doing some bits of contracting and what have you, and we shall see how things go. Before I dive into the specifics of how this game works, though, I just want to remind everyone we're going to be using, if folks are good with this, we're going to be using the X card, N card, and O card. The X card just basically is if we hit something that you do not want to be in the game. Then you just can make an X symbol or type an X in the Zoom chat, and it'll be gone. We'll go back, no questions asked. If there's something there that you're okay at being there, but you don't want it in any detail, then you can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll just sort of go back, or not go back necessarily. But we'll just fade to black. We'll put a veil over it. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. And then, of course, the O card is if, say, you think you're really intensely role-playing and you think that we might be worried you're really upset out of character, you can put an O in the chat. Also, something I like to do as well is if we can put an O with the question mark after it, if it's something where it's like, I just did something or made a comment and I'm like, maybe that might have been a little too much. You can put an O with a question mark and everyone else can then respond so we can know if we're still doing okay. And so that I fully encourage the use of safety tools for any game, even one as hopefully lighthearted as this. So the way that Inspectors works, it is actually very largely player-driven. So I have to do so little, it's hysterical, as we'll be finding out. But for this initial part, I shall guide us through a bit of a sort of discussion as we figure out kind of what we're doing and how these characters are going to fit together. And we're doing some Session Zero stuff basically right now. The character stats are pretty simple. You have 4 stats. Those are academics, athletics, technology, and contact, which we'll sort of be putting on display as we go through. But again, if anyone has any questions while I'm talking about any of this, please feel free to stop me because I have a tendency to be something of a bulldozer from time to time as I just keep talking and talking and talking and it never ends. So please just, you can tell me to shut up and I will shut up. Yeah, so essentially, as this goes forward, so we had that. Everyone has that. Everyone has a talent. We are also permitted to have one weird investigator if we wanted one of those. Do we have one of those or no?
Is Life Erickson actually the original Life Erickson? He's just
God.
still alive and now working for the U.S. government.
Oh my god.
I leave that open to you to give me that characteristic. I didn't plan on it.
But God, it's so good, Matthias.
He's so good.
Oh, we shall see what emerges in play.
Oh man.
And there are rules in there for switching to a weird character if such a thing happens. So we'll find out. Yes. Delightful. I'm going to give you the descriptor immortal. So
you never intend to start your life out as immortal. It just happens to you.
yeah, it does. It just
Yeah.
but
yeah.
accidentally.
I mean, don't hold back. No, definitely. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Well, let's see. So we have names. We names from our career. Did everyone go ahead and assign their dice, their skills, and pick talents and things of that nature?
I didn't pick a talent. Is that just something that it's a talent that they have?
It's a general category of a thing that you're good at, and you get an extra die whenever you do anything related to that. So it's something that can apply to rolls on any of the 4 different attributes.
It's also the thing where you bullshit yourself into, yes, of course, this is useful here, so I get the advantage die, right?
They're like aspects in Fate in that regard to a certain extent, but no, it is kind of a thing where we're looking for an area of study, an area of expertise, an area of
So
a
what
thing.
you mean to tell me is I can draw on my burning wheel talent of yelling until someone gives me the advantage.
That is eminently doable here.
I'd
Just
like to see
yelling,
that.
yelling about it until you give me the advantage. Okay, I didn't realize that's what the talent was. Oh goodness, has anyone else
didn't
thought of their
realize.
talents?
I looked at the example talents and I was already thinking, yeah, IT technician, yeah, computers, top
Yeah.
of the list.
So a lot of times it's like if you think in terms of whatever your previous job was, then you can do that. Why don't we go around and talk a little bit more about our characters, who they are, and sort of what we know about them so far, and then perhaps something like that might emerge. Let's see, who wants to start?
I mean, I have all my stuff, so if we want somebody who's
Who's actually
got
prepared?
it done.
Yes, please. I want to hear about Vic.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. So Victory Delaney, mostly goes by Vic. Co used to be the social media intern for the Public Works Department, and this the ghost and other supernatural team was shorter person. So somebody was just like, "Oh yeah, Vic's not doing anything," and now this is what Vic does. Co has a 2 in academics, a 1 in athletics, a 3 in technology, and a 3 in contact. And Co's talent is customer service.
Excellent.
I love this.
Because as social media intern, mostly what Co did was answer people's questions on Facebook about why something is wrong at a park.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm getting the flashback. Also, my phone's ringing. It's great. I'm getting the flashback to the scene in Parks and Rec about why didn't this sandwich have mayonnaise on it? It was left in the park. The questions that Vic had to deal with.
Yeah, or the thing where Ron got the circular desk and somebody keeps trying to ask questions, he just keeps turning around.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Oh god, this game is just an excuse for me to remember all the good Parks and Recs moments.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
I look at this game as an excuse for me to learn about Parks and Rec. So I really need to see it one of these days.
You need to watch it.
I think I have an idea for Dahlia.
I really want to hear this.
It just came to me that Dahlia used to be a children's magician.
Okay.
Yes.
And so I think that's why she would like see the random listing up in the office or somewhere like that this job was, hiring, because she works in the parks a lot. Why? I'm so sorry. She works in the parks.
That's just the front desk that's
It's
going
the
on
front-
all day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not for us.
April's not answering the phone again.
It's just Foley work. But I think that like that's why she would know about this job, because she would work in the park doing children's birthday parties. And so I gave her a 1 in academics, a 2 in athletics, a 2 in technology, and a 4 in contact. And her talent is going to be sleight of hand,
Excellent.
Okay.
because she's very good at where did these flowers come from? Pulling a bunny out of a hat. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Nice. I love it.
Great. Oh man.
And let's see. Matthias, do you want to go?
Sure, yeah. So, Leif Erikson, he is he's an academic, actually.
Oh.
You wouldn't guess it right away. He's like, he constantly gets mistaken for a model. But he actually has a degree in architecture restoration. That's going to be my talent as well, restorer.
Oh, cool.
So I guess I'm the only one who actually knows what we're doing.
Excellent.
But
Look,
he's
I'm gay
kind
and
of-
I know how to use Twitter. You can't expect me to know stuff.
Excellent.
But you know what? You can Google it, and that's all you really need in 2019, okay?
Yeah.
I know how to find out the information, right? I know how to look it up.
Good. Good.
But he's actually I think he's talented in his craft, but not necessarily all the brightest in all the other fields all the time. So I've got a 2 in academics, a 3 in athletics, a 1 in technology, and a 3 in contact.
Cool. Cool.
Nice.
All right. And Sophie, would you like to tell us
Hi.
about your
I
character?
guess that was me, yeah. So Fran, she's gonna be an IT technician because I think they're just magical people anyway. And
It's fair.
yeah, so I couldn't think of a last name, but before we went live, I was like, I don't know any last names. So we had the idea she'd have a different last name each time, like be a bit mysterious, and I really like that. So yeah. that's
What could be, if she is a transplant from like overseas, it could be actually the same last name, but everyone pronounces it differently every time. No one gets it right. And like Fran's just like can't be bothered at this point. She's
It's
used
just
to
a
it.
cover name. Who cares?
Yes.
But yeah, so that is Fran, and I did pick the skill computers, but then I was like, actually, hacking probably suits her more.
Yeah, you can go either way with it, really. I'd actually encourage computers is a little broader, so that would probably actually would fit a little bit better here.
Okay.
Since hacking is
Change
going to
that
be very specific. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking about. I guess you could try to bend hacking into talk about life hacks and things like that. So yeah, you could bend the definition. You could bend the depends on which definition. Which word would you prefer to bend? That's my question to you.
Fran has a subscription to Lifehacker. She checks it every morning. Yeah.
Oh god. I think computers for me would be easier as a player to throw around. Like, I pick up this laptop and I hit you around the face with it.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that count?
Yeah, totally. That totally counts.
Should they come to combat?
Should it come to combat?
Using your skill.
Yeah, my skills. So I've got a 3 in academics, a 2 in athletics, a 3 for technology, and a 1 for contact, because she doesn't know anyone and she's on her own.
Excellent.
For no particular reason, she's on her own. And yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get our now that we know kind of a little bit about your characters, and then we're going to learn to get even more in depth because there's going to be a job interview coming up for each of you.
God.
But
I just got real life fear.
before we go there,
Real life fear and anxiety.
But before we go there, why else would I dress like this? Before we go there.
Wait, I'm wearing a smart top, it's fine.
Yes, you're fine. You're good. You're good. You get points. You're good. So let's go ahead and do our franchise building, so that we can make some. Now, some of these questions we've kind of already answered in the background, but some of this also is going to get answered because it's tied very much to the city. We need to learn a little bit more about the city itself, I think, to figure out some of this. So I think my first question to you folks is, how big is this city that we are in? Roughly.
I was thinking that it was like a smallish college town kind of place. Some place that would have, regular goings on throughout our city government. There would be like public works happening, but like not some place where there's like 3 different branches of our office, across the, that not a huge city, but I think metropolitan enough that things would be happening on a regular basis.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a farmer's market once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have like during the fall, there's like weekend live bands playing in the park, that kind of thing, But like, there's probably like a way to catch a train or like a couple of hours drive. You could go to like a bigger city, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So you've got like maybe like a decent downtown area. It's maybe a bit built up more than, say, it's probably more than like just the one street. I'm guessing it's one main street. You've got like probably a number of city blocks in a downtown area, but then probably that's it. That's like inside whatever circle they decide to make, and then you've got mostly sprawl outside of it. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there's the like city movie theater, which is okay, but mostly shows art films. And then if you either take a train or drive for half an hour, you can get to the movie theater that's actually showing Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
on
for sure.
IMAX 3D,
Yes.
the multiplex. Yeah.
And like the only people that work at the theater here are like the people that, they stay up way too late, so that's the perfect kind of job for them. They don't come out during the day, that kind of thing.
Yes. They're completely normal individuals.
Yes.
Who just
That's what
are
I'm
night
going
owls.
for.
That's right. Excellent. Excellent. Note to self. City. Okay. I'm just looking at. Okay.
Trying to think what else you would have. Like,
Yeah.
would you have like some sort of like college then?
If not like right in our town, then I would think still relatively close. I think it's probably like that kind of place. You live here because it's cheaper to live here,
Oh, so it's like a commuting kind of town.
Unless you guys wanted it to be like a place that has a university.
I mean, if it's a college town, it has to be an old college because old colleges are super haunted.
Yeah,
Super
the old
haunted.
English ones.
Yes.
Can be.
I'm totally okay with that. Yeah, having an older college, like with an old creepy
Like
library.
the Gothic architecture.
Yes.
No?
Yeah, except that this is America, so it's faux Gothic because it was built in the 1800s.
When we say old, we don't really mean like, yeah. We're not talking
mean-
Oxford old. We're just talking.
Just a couple hundred years.
Awesome. So would it be safe to say then the college is probably like the centerpiece of this town? It's why most of the people who live here are here.
Yeah.
I would think so. Academic sorts, or or your students.
Or you're
It's
catering to students.
Yeah.
It's going to be a creepy, like, graveyard and church. Or
Oh,
is that
yeah.
I think a chapel on campus. My school had a chapel on campus that had to have been haunted. It was so creepy.
The college I went to that was an old college that was super haunted didn't have a chapel on campus, but there was a graveyard.
Ooh.
That's really
One
scary.
without the other is just odd.
Yeah.
Was there a church originally, or
I don't know, but like I don't know if it was technically on campus, but it was like within 5 minutes of like it's within 5 minutes walk of a campus building. You just go into the woods.
Oh, that's a great
Oh,
description.
worse.
Just go into the woods to this graveyard.
I am so delighted right now.
Yeah, I know where 16-year-old life was hanging out.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
No
Excellent.
wonder he wanted to restore old architecture.
Yeah,
yes.
all those beautiful tombstones.
They need to be preserved, gosh darn it.
Just in the graveyard at like 7 p.m. doing charcoal rubbings.
Oh my god.
I love so much about this.
Excellent, excellent. Cool. All right. That gives me kind of a good impression as to sort of the size of this thing. So, so this means that the Public Works Department probably encompasses a fair amount of stuff. But they're set up differently in every city, so we can make it whatever we want. So one question I have then is how long has the Public Works Department in this town felt the need to have a division dedicated to the investigation and elimination of the supernatural?
Oh. So, of course, there's like a couple ways we could go. It could be something that's out and known about, or it could be something like X-Files that it's like, not talked about. It's a secret kind of.
Yeah. Well, I'll say the default way that they set it up, which we can go with or not, is sort of halfway between the two. It's like the supernatural is not necessarily known to everyone, but there's enough of it around that it's really more of an embarrassment than anything else.
I like that.
It's more of an annoyance.
Like the Ghostbusters. Oh man. Oh god.
We
Yeah.
can do that if you want, or we can, or we can lean. How do we feel about that? Which way do we want to lean?
I like that, because I think it also makes sense like that. Vic has gotten pushed to this department, like no one will fill this space, and it explains why like no one would want that job.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I like that too. I also like it that it's always been kind of a thing, in even in the public records, like going way back to the town's founding. They were like, it's a thing we need to be aware of, and we just file it under public works over here, and no one will ask too many questions on a federal level about it.
Good, excellent.
Yeah, no one asks about it. Just Public Works. Just a Public Works. It's their department.
So I feel like if so have you folks been working here long, or is it or are you all here recently, or is there a mix?
I think Dahlia's definitely new, because I think she had just seen like a flyer or word of mouth that like there was an opening in the department, and can't pay rent just doing a couple of kids' birthday parties once or twice a month. Needs a real job.
Real jobs.
Real job. Yeah, I think Dahlia's new, or at least newish.
I don't know. Maybe something happened to the last team, and that's why you had to suddenly get an intern in as well, and a random IT technician who
God.
and don't know where they come from.
I mean, I think the IT technician makes a lot of sense, and like when like all the different little governmental stuff is getting digitized,
Yeah.
you have one too.
I drew a short straw.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense, having Co being or Vic being a like social media, because that means that
Good publicity.
Co knows how to handle maybe not telling the whole truth about why there's so many new hires.
Yeah.
Beating around the bush.
Yeah.
So I think Life is definitely like a in his 30s homecomer. So I think like I definitely did my PhD at like some actual renowned architectural. I probably in New Orleans or something like that, right? Where they actually know that stuff. And then I like worked for a couple of years on whatever projects, and now has come home and sees this town. And this is like the obvious job to take.
Yeah.
Get as well, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like then Vic has probably been with the has been with the city government probably longest. I think Co's probably lived through a few changes that happened that were basically that so in my head, right? The way that, again, the game is sort of by default set up is there's this big franchise called the Inspectres. And so I think that what happened previously in the previous decade is they tried to privatize. They tried to go with private contractors. So they actually tried to bring in the Inspectres people, and they encouraged people to use the app that was coming up, which would have been like a sort of an Uber for ghost hunters. And things did not go well. And the bottom kind of fell out, and so that program was stopped, and they have now sort of more recently, very quickly, just sort of hired and or shuffled you folks around to basically become this to come back and start doing the work of this division again. Which previously they'd only had they probably had like Vic and one other person doing just various keeping tabs stuff for a while, and it's like, okay, this isn't working. This is not working out. People aren't showing up to exterminations. And, in the meantime, we've got a lot of other stuff going on. So that even just sort of as city things that need to be taken care of. So we're gonna just devote this to this. We're gonna reallocate. So probably, I'm guessing a lot of funds got allocated away to a certain extent, and it just became like, okay, we're gonna they're gonna have 4 employees. We'll see what we can do.
Oh man.
And go from there. So you're probably using like a bunch of the old Inspectors stuff. You've probably still got like the wall might have still have their logo up on it.
Oh man.
paid to have it taken down yet.
Yeah, there's like sometimes you'll just find some like old flyers in a desk drawer that just haven't been recycled yet.
Yeah.
Or like memos or like meeting notes, and it's just like, this is from 1997. Why do we still have this?
Yes, so good.
Yes.
It's twas the startup craze. How big, and that actually brings me more specifically. So, how big is this office that you folks are working out of, and where is it located?
I mean, it can't be. What's better, us being right on top of each other in a very, very small space, or it being so big because they expected it to be so big that it's like you say one thing and like it's echoing through these hallways.
I love both of those.
Okay, best of both worlds. It was very big, and they realized that they didn't need this much space, so now half of it is storage for other departments. And we're kind of crowded into a too small space, but we can't get rid of all the other stuff because it's like we can't get rid of all of these like garden hoses and frisbees.
Or like the Christmas decorations and all
Oh
that.
god, yeah, the Christmas decorations.
We got like 4 boxes of wreaths. We use them once a year for a month.
The fucking nativity scene is still set up, and it scares the shit out of us at least once a week. Someone gets the shit scared out of him by like fucking Joseph standing in a corner.
Yeah, whoever either like is the last to leave or the first to come in and like the lights are off. He just kind of like, his eyes are kind of reflective. Nobody really knows why, but like you see like a glint of light and you're like, oh no!
Oh my god, yes!
Maybe the ironic thing is we have a ghost haunting the Joseph and we don't know.
Indeed.
It's our mascot!
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
It's so funny.
Wonderful. Okay. So good.
Did that answer your question, Jim?
Oh, well, yes. Hi.
And I think we should definitely be, because I think we're a small enough town that like everything would of course be together. So should we be at like the bottom of this building? Like basement level?
Basement office.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So is it like a city hall or a library or a school or what sort of government building do we think it is?
Probably a city hall, right?
Yeah, I was thinking city hall first.
Sure.
That would make sense. Like everything's there. It's a regular foot traffic for tons of different people to come in and out of. It also makes sense that like all of their shit has been pushed down to us in the basement.
Yes. So somewhere up there is the mayor.
Who knows?
You've never seen them.
We come in before there's light outside and leave when there's no light outside. We don't know what sun looks like.
Yeah.
We have like the DMV directly above us or something like that.
Oh my god.
So good. So good.
It's just like a siphon of life force. Just like,
We're constantly
I know, so
having to
are you
like.
familiar with the DMV?
No.
It's the Department of Motor Vehicles. You go there if you need to get a driver's license or like update
Tags,
forms.
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Car
stuff like that.
registration.
And it is incredibly annoying. I once had to go there to get a driver's license. Like for the first time I got like my actual license, and it was the month before I turned 20, and then it expired when I turned 20. So I had to go back there the next month to be like, hi, my driver's license is expired. Please give me a new one.
Oh.
I just imagine us like having to sage our place down once a month from all the bad energy that comes from the DMV.
It
right above
seeps
us.
down through the walls.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Excellent. It's those nights when when you're about to leave and you turn the lights off and you see that Joseph's stare has become much more accusing. That's when you know it's time to do a cleanse.
Like, oh my god. Like, yeah, Vic's like, can we legally put salt between us and the DMV? Like, is that allowed?
Get us the
Can
blueprints
we
of this
like
building,
hide
please.
some quartz in there? Oh my god, we're playing another game where I get to bring out my quartz.
Here we go.
That is all that Elle wants.
Yes.
Big hunk of quartz my grandmother got me.
Oh,
That's delightful.
I love it.
this is amazing.
Oh my
We
god.
haven't even started the game yet. This is great.
Yeah, just relocate this to my table. Just gonna live here now.
You should never
It's like-
remove the quartz. You never know when you'll need it.
Yeah.
Like on your desk.
Well, I mean, I moved it over to that shelf there so I can grab it at a moment's notice.
It's good. It's
Oh
good.
my gosh.
It's good to have quartz at a moment's notice. It's very helpful. That's great. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, so I think we've got a good sort of idea. So yeah, this is kind of in the middle. I'm feeling this is probably a 7-die franchise roughly, because it's not like it's like, well, you folks are recent, but it's got some resources. It's just you got to sort of work to get at them. So I think that's sort of what I'm feeling here. And so let's see. Yeah, let us go ahead then and allocate those resources. So if you would look to the roll 20, I'm going to take away one of those dice because there are 8 dice there. You'll see that you have your franchise sheet, and you have 4 places that now you folks can collectively. You should all be able to move those dice that are there on the right. Let me know if you can. But you've got 4 things that you essentially can use to build this franchise, and they will represent sort of your resources to an extent. You have the library card, which is a resource you can draw on pool for your academic roles. So you can anytime anyone wants to use one of the dice on this franchise sheet, you can. You just take a die, and then that adds to your roll. But then it's gone after that. And then you have also the gym card, which adds to your physical rolls, your athletics rolls. You have and that represents your access to very gym equipment, firing ranges, archery ranges, whatever it is you need, sort of in the course of your job. Again, obviously the library card is access to lore and all that kind of thing, academia. You have the credit card, which is an American distress card, it says, which adds on to your technology rolls.
Makes sense that it's also way past its expiration date.
Oh yes, oh yeah.
The card is so expired.
It was. I think that was expired when this game came out. I think, if I remember right. It's been a while. I have to go back and look at the copyright.
It's actually 3005 and not 2003.
Oh, okay. So it'll be a
Okay,
while.
got you. Yeah, good.
Long way. And so that adds on.
That happened. That
It's good.
checks out.
It's your so that basically adds to your technology. It represents your access to different gear, different technology, your spending account, that kind of thing. And then of course you have that bank slip up there, which represents your bank dice, and that's just something that you're holding. If you want to put in dice that can be applied anywhere, those would be the only pooled dice you can pull for contact rolls if you want to add on to contact rolls. But they can go to anything. There is an additional mechanic when rolling bank dice, which we'll get into. But just know for now that if at some point you decide to draw on the bank dice, I'm going to interpret it as any bank dice you use in your roll are the last ones that come up in roll 20. And so say, for example, if you have a contact of 3 and you want a contact of 4, you go and you buy something that helps, a book that helps you, phrases to use on people, whatever. And that's represent your bank dice. If you use 1 die and that gives you 4 dice for that roll, the 4th die that comes up, the last die that comes up on roll 20, that's what I'm considering your bank die, because its facing will also do other things with your bank dice collectively. It is possible to gain additional bank dice that way. It's also possible to lose them. So it's a little bit of an additional random thing that gets thrown in. So where do you folks want to put those dice?
We have a lot of contact and we have a lot of technology, just like between us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't mind putting it the bare minimum in bank or credit card and sort of going toward gym and library either, if we wanted to mediate that.
Yeah, one has probably, you need one to go in each, probably, right? It's the minimum.
Well, no, you don't have to. As far as I'm concerned, you can pretty much put them where you like.
Shall we still do the 1 minimum though?
I'm cool with 1 minimum, just to have a backup.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. If you have anything with none in them, that means that your native resources for that thing are like null.
Yeah,
nothing.
I like having at least 1 in everything for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah.
Who wants to do that?
I can do it. So we're putting that 1 in bank and 1 in credit card, and then 5 more to put where else, where we think the other one should go.
What do you need?
I mean, we could do. What do we think that we would fall back on most?
I mean, why would we have like if we were a startup, I would understand that we have like the employee thing with the local fitness studio across the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are yoga classes. The city
In the
offers
park!
yoga.
Morning
Oh, okay.
yoga in the park.
You probably have some
excellent,
sort of
excellent,
deal
yeah.
with the local college to use some of their athletic stuff,
Oh.
maybe.
Oh, yeah, I would.
Depending on how much you allocate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have probably easy access to whatever, like
Soccer balls.
library and stuff. So,
Those
Yeah.
frisbees.
Yeah, those
That's
That's a lot of extreme frisbee going on.
You use them for something.
but is it still more on the library card than on the gym card, or because it's easy? It's 3-2.
Yeah, because we also have like the long history of there being people dealing with the supernatural in the city and the public works department. So
Yeah.
that would
So the-
probably also count as library.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
the public.
agree.
Yeah, I actually have a record here.
Yeah, I think leaning heavier toward the library makes sense, especially the kind of town we live in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's more knowledge based kind of thing.
Yeah. Do we want to do 3 and 2?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am perfectly all right with that as well. Oh, Arnie's gym. What a good place.
Excellent. Very good. Okay. So we've got that set up. And Now, so that basically, well, again, will mean that you've got that store of knowledge there, and old files, and probably a lot of a fair number of people probably in the government building might be aware of the supernatural, and the ones who've worked there for a while are kind of they're in the know about it, and it's very tiring for them. And so let's see. As far as the and you have some moderate degree of access to athletic equipment, things like that, if you need to get out and use it. Maybe some of the university's stuff.
Actually, our equipment is just life's just home gym. That's all it is. That's what it is.
Easily could be.
It's just those, those 30-pound hand weights. We got this.
Excellent.
My
Not
rowing.
one of those like infomercial machines.
Like a shake weight.
God.
I was thinking one of those like a 30-in-1 like home gym things, and it's like, I don't know how this thing works.
Who knows?
Oh God.
Who knows, indeed.
But a very attractive person explained to me that it's what I needed at 3 a.m. and I was a little bit drunk and kind of sad, and maybe this will work. Maybe this will help.
And that $39.99 price tag just looked too good.
Yeah.
It was a deal.
Yeah, it's an investment.
Oh, this is wonderful.
It also came with this commemorative coin. So
Oh my goodness.
Excellent. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and do. I think we've got enough that we can now do our opening interviews.
Oh God.
So these are your government employee screenings. So your supervisor, I've gone ahead and I came up with a name, but that's all I have right now. It's Ned Gorley. I'd like you to choose one of these 4 descriptors here that I have in front of me. We have professional, hostile, friendly, or surreal. Which of those 4 would you like?
Did you just pick the best things you could play, Jim? Is that what it was?
No, that's actually just, I'm just borrowing adjectives from the description of the employee screening.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm always here for surreal. That's my vote. Let's just totally just dig into this.
Yeah, that I came a professional, but that's boring.
Let's go surreal.
Okay, excellent. All right. Let me see.
I want to see this. I need it in my life.
Okay.
Can't wait. Ready?
Find a random image somewhere. Okay.
they're probably not surreal on like first impression, though, right? That's something that only seeps in a little later.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Or what do you
we'll
think?
So yeah, okay, yeah. So here's kind of I think how this goes. So we're going to do. I think we're going to do Vic first. That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you've worked with Ned off and on for a while. Most recently, Ned has just been put in charge of this department, and he oversees a few different departments in public works, handle a few different things. Basically, mostly does middle management stuff. So he generally does admin, and also some of the things that you'd have under sort of buildings and grounds, which is mostly which can sort of slide somewhat also into city parks, that kind of thing. So now this is sort of this division, this sort of inspectors, quote unquote, division, which is kind of not what its official name, but it's just sort of what people are still kind of calling it right now, is what is going to, it has a sort of a broad mandate in terms of taking care of stuff that goes across public works. But at the same time, it's, Ned is sort of just still sort of managing that, and some still doing admin and stuff like that. So when you come into his office, he's hanging a picture, looks like a picture frame on his wall, that he's kind of completely standing in front of, and it's clear that he has not heard you come in.
Excuse me, Ned? And
he sort of he jumps for a second, and the picture falls to the floor. And he's like, "Vic, hi." And he sort of bends down, puts it back up, turns. Good, you're here. Turns around, sits down. You see that the picture is of an ant. There's just a very detailed photograph of an ant, very close up. It's not on the ground. It's actually like it's maybe on a table or something where it was photographed. You can't really tell because it's so close up. But it's an ant, and you think it's got like a piece of something in one of its at the end of one of its legs, that it's sort of like, there's something kind of off about it. That's the first glance, and if you want to examine that further, you may. But Ned turns around and sort of sits at the desk.
Yeah, Vic sits down. Like, is that one of the ant species that's native to the area?
Nope. Yeah. But it's good to encourage, I think, ideas. I think it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Inspectors Division now. What are we calling it now? We haven't decided what we want to call this now.
No, it should probably be an acronym.
Oh, yeah. Those are good. Those track well. So if you can help me with that, then we can make the rest of this kind of fly by a bit. And when you're kind of ready for that. So with that, are you sure you want to do this specifically, this dealing with the things that go bump?
Well, it seems like this department needs a lot of help at the moment. And no, I went out with the team a few weeks ago because they needed an extra person, and no, I think that I really helped out.
They mentioned that. They think so too. It's a shame what happened to anyway. But yeah, okay. What do you sort of see yourself doing in this new division? Can you paint me a picture?
Yes. So I see myself going and talking to people, getting what they have to say about what is going on in their lives, answering questions, prioritizing things. Also, I came up with an acronym if you'd like to hear it.
I am impressed. What is it?
Supernatural, Paranatural, Amicable Removal and Excision, or SPARE.
Huh. Okay. This is good. Could you write that? Could you send that to me in like an email?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. We'll kick that around. There's something spare. Is that? And he just sort of glances up at the photograph of the ant. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll be good. So is there anything from what you were doing before, any particular experiences or anything that you think are going to speak to you for this? Anything you want to do with this that we have coming up?
I think that what the people really want to be is heard. And even if we can't exactly solve the problem that they have, just the fact that we go and we listen to them, we listen to their problems with the flower beds, we listen to their problems with the performers in the park. We listen to their problems with the ghosts that inhabit their mailboxes.
That sounds good and also inexpensive, which is helpful. Okay. Good. And he takes this form that has been sent to him. This is a form that you actually had previously filed, that he put these stamps at. He's like, all right, welcome aboard. And he presents to you a form with an official title on it, which we haven't actually decided what our titles are yet, so I'm not going to say what it is. But you may determine that if you so desire. And that's your interview. And he actually, he will say, so do you want to sit in on the other interviews? I got like 3 more people coming in. Do you want to sit in, or do you want to take off and start with your stuff?
I'll sit in.
Okay. All right. Cool. Excellent.
Vic is doing this because Ko is pretty sure that the other people don't already work in the department, and also knows that Ned can get a little bit weird and wants to be there just in case something happens.
So Ned stands up, and he just sort of, he gets up, he adjusts the picture again, and then he goes and he presses a button on the intercom. Yeah, can you send the next one in, please? Great, thank you. No one actually said anything to him back on the intercom. He just says that, and sits down. And who's the next person to come in?
I will.
Okay.
I just have to recover from no one saying anything back.
So,
I've known this person.
Can we both come and actually create a jam at the door? You can go first, though. Like, it's to us as the viewers, it's completely unclear who said.
So that's how it starts, is the two of you come and you're just sort of wedged into the door for a second, and he just sort of, you see Ned turn around, and I didn't describe him, I'm sorry. He's got sort of this sort of mop of slightly graying dark blonde hair that comes back, and he has a pair of glasses in his pocket. He is not wearing them, and he just sort of turns and he points. He says, should be one. There are 2. There should be 1. There are 2. There should be 1.
Do you want to?
No, well, apologies. I just thought.
You can go first. Really, it's not that big of a deal. I've got all day.
You sure? And I think it's like moving back in the jam, then forward again.
She is too, because she's like, she thought you might step aside, and so she went forward.
And Vic's like, how about you on the left? You go first.
Dahlia has to hold up her hands to see which side is left.
Yeah.
So you're or.
You know what? I'll go. I'll make this easier for all of us. And she's just smiling, really fake and big, and she just steps in. And I think it's like quick enough that you haven't moved, so she forces herself into the door, like past you into the doorway.
One other thing is that I forgot to ask Elle to describe Vic also. So as you come in, you see Ned, and then you also see Vic. What does Vic look like?
So Vic is about like 5'5", kind of little, kind of big. Has got like a little bit of scruff. Like Ko doesn't really shave, but also Ko's hair facial hair doesn't actually like grow all that fast because Ko's only really been on testosterone for like 6 months and doesn't want to shave because Ko has worked really hard for this. And Ko has like kind of long, not like long, like dirty blonde hair, but it's long enough to like be put back in a ponytail.
Sweet angel.
And who do we see coming in? What's Dahlia?
Dahlia has a almost like a lion's mane of frizzy Ronald McDonald red hair. And I think she's tried to sort of like tame it back with like those like old fashioned claw clips, that you like pull your hair back and you have to like turn them and adjust them. I haven't worn them since I was a little girl. Yeah, she's got those like pulled back into the side. So up top there's a bit that's sort of poofy. She's about a solid 6 foot and very sort of plump, and I think like she's sickeningly pale. Like she works outside but she can't get sun. She's very, very freckled on her face, and she's wearing a white button up and like this black sort of professional looking skirt to her, but every part of skin you could see is like covered in freckles. She is very, very, very pale, and very much like a bull in a china shop. So like as she comes in, not only has she spent a couple of seconds pushing her way through the door, but she's like knocking into everything that she comes across.
Hey, okay, yeah, that's the fern. Okay, yeah.
It's a lovely fern. Lovely. Yeah. It really ties the office all together. Hi, I'm Dahlia. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Ned.
I'm Vic.
Oh, nice to meet you both. I was told there would only be one, but you know what? I'm great on working on the fly. So she's just gonna sit down awkwardly.
Great. No, that's good. Which fly?
Is that an interview question?
No, it's just like on the spur of the moment, like without.
Oh, on the spur. Fly is on the spur. How big is the spur? Because, never mind. Anyway.
Dahlia does genuinely seem to be thinking your question over in her head, though.
This is, we need to. He makes a brief note, and Vic, you can see as he's raising his clipboard and he's writing a note on it. He's actually writing about requisitioning new shoes, and.
I thought that he was going to be requisitioning of Portrait of a Fly to go opposite the ant.
Whisper.
That's a thought. Because actually, as he sits down, he seems to be writing things, and he's actually doodling a picture of a fly.
Yep.
And so he sort of looks up, his right hand operating almost independently of the rest of his body as he's drawing something. Dahlia, haven't I seen you at a festive event?
Probably. I am rather well known in the single mother circuit as a magician.
Ah.
I go by Dancing Dahlia because with my each magic trick, I try to do a little bit of a waltz here or a tango there. It's been a little hard without a partner, but I make it work.
And are you still making things disappear?
Do you need things to disappear?
Somewhat. We have certain things that it would be better if they did.
I can do that. Now, for the most part, they don't really disappear as much as they just go somewhere else for a little bit of extended period of time. But I can still do that, yeah.
That works. That works. But if you look at sort of the stage that is our city, every now and then, you have occasionally a werewolf to saw in half. If you take my meaning.
Would you like that werewolf to stay sawed in half or be put back together at the end of the act?
I mean, as long as it's not here anymore, it's fine. What are these?
I think that gives me a lot of options, actually.
Right. Okay. Good. Why do you want to? Why do you want to deal with the unseen things?
Well, you see, one, the rent is going up on my apartment building, and the old lady that owns it, she's getting really tired of being paid in Dahlia dollars. So she sort of needs some real money. But also I feel like, I have a very certain set of skills that would work very well.
I think shows great independent spirit to be minting your own currency. I should point out that that's not strictly legal. So,
Well, neither is the rent in this city, but you do what you can.
Ah, right. Yeah, it might not be. Okay. So, do you have any experience with the things that are the not natural things?
Well, one time I was at the park and I was sitting by myself for a little while, and I was pretty sure I heard someone whispering in my ear, and I thought it was a ghost, but I think it might have just been radio interference. You see, I have a little bit of metal in the back of my mouth from an old accident. Don't worry about it. And it might have just been, sometimes it picks up signals.
In a way, though, aren't we always picking up signals?
I think that me and you have picked up a great signal between each other.
He just sort of looks over, sort of nods slowly. He looks up at the portrait of an ant that you're seeing suddenly on the wall, and he looks back. It seems to be holding like a little cup in its hand. It's kind of weird.
Is the cup new? Has the cup always been there?
I don't know.
God. I don't remember the cup when I walked in.
No. Hard to say. And he turns back and he says, I think you're going to make a good addition to this. Do you think Vic, do you have any questions?
How long have you lived here?
It's very hard to say physically. About a couple of years, mentally less.
Can end up in a lot of different places that way.
He knows what I'm talking about.
You gotta be here while you're working.
Oh, well, definitely, always. I have a great track record with attendance. Of course, I was my own boss, but I always showed up.
Good. That's good. Well, I mean, that's very helpful because
if you need any references, just ask.
excellent. Good. Well, and he just sort of looks over at Vic and is like, I think we've got what we need here, yeah? Okay, excellent. He takes out another form and stamps it, and he hands it to Dahlia and says, "Welcome to the team." And
Just like that.
just like that. And it's got a title on it listed that you will get to define. And he says, so if you will head out, there are a couple of tests we're going to need you to take, and then we should be good. Do ask the other one to come in if you would, please.
Will do. You can count on me, boss. And
Great.
she's
Good to
like
be working with you.
shaking both of your hands. Like, she's that kind of person, like, you know, when somebody grabs to shake your hand with both their hands and is like enthusiastically shaking your hands. That's what she's doing.
Yeah. Welcome to the spare team.
And she's completely crumbled up the piece of paper you gave her as she's shaking both of your hands. But she turns out and goes back out to the hallway. Oh, it's your turn now. Great interview. Great people in there. I think everyone would love them.
And you said this to life.
To life,
Not
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because that was the person she had interacted with, yeah.
Yeah. So with like a smile and like a wave, we can already see that through the door. Life comes in, and he's fairly tall. Like he's got like a finely chiseled jaw, dark hair, very hip glasses, and is wearing a lab coat.
Nice.
But you can definitely like immediately see just by like the musculature on his neck, that he's and the width of his shoulders. It's someone who definitely also works out a lot. Yeah, and yeah, he comes in and hello. How do you do? How do you do?
How do you do? As Ned is taking one of those desk toy things out of his out of a drawer and setting it. It's one of those, the
cradles.
Yeah, the thing with the little the spheres that clack into each
Yeah,
other.
that's a Newton's cradle.
Newton's cradle. Yes. So he's got one of those. He takes it out carefully, and just slowly pulls two of the spheres back, and then slowly moves them back into place. And then he looks up. He says, "Have a seat."
Oh, yes.
This is Ned. I'm Vic.
Hello, I'm Life.
Excellent. Good. That's good. I'm glad you are. So tell us, why do you want to work for Spare? You've never heard that term before since it was just invented. So
Yeah, exactly. So, I thought this is the interview for Public Works. I saw an ad.
That's right.
Yeah, this is specifically the supernatural, paranatural, amicable removal, and excision division of Public Works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the ad I applied to, and I'm like handing over my actually CV and things that I had under my arm.
Ned takes a look at it. He takes his glasses out of his pocket and then holds them next to his head, and then he reads it while he's doing that.
Yeah, it was specifically for public monument restoration and the like. Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of my specialty.
We do have some problems at the monuments from time to time, but this is more specifically dealing with the things that are not normal-ish.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's I wasn't expecting a normal job. No, this I understand.
What do you like about the monuments? What do they say to you?
Well, it's funny if you actually pay good and long attention to them. You can find a lot of the city's history, not just in what they represent, but what they're made out of, but also what has collected in their greases, which needs to be cleaned up. This can be very different depending on where the monument stands.
While you're speaking, the lights dim for a moment, and then they come back up, and Ned just sort of pauses, and he looks up at this picture of an ant that's up on the wall, that appears to be holding a cup of some kind with some little bit of steam rising from it. And it's a photograph, which is kind of weird. But just sort of comes and he looks back. He says, "Yes, that's good. What about the monuments do you think would apply to working in this division?"
Do you happen to have any experience knowing how to, say, clean ectoplasm off of a monument?
Very good.
Yes, I mean the cleanup specifically without actually damaging the material underneath is a field where I have quite a bit of experience. Like the recent past years, I've been working in New Orleans. My specialty is actually in tombstones. So, but that's more. Like,
Ooh.
not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did anything weird happen around the tombstones?
Well, this one time one actually cracked apart. And I was in charge of putting it back together, restoring it as much as possible. I think some water leaked in, and then we had some late in the spring freezing temperatures, and that must have cracked the stone. I'm sure.
As you're speaking, he is rising to his feet, and he looks down at you very seriously and says, "Life Erickson, are you the one to help us to restore our broken legacy?"
I mean, that's what they call me, right? The restorer.
Good. Vic, do you have any questions?
Life Erickson, like the Viking?
Yeah, I get that a lot. But actually, so my mom didn't know this. She liked that first name. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, I don't actually have like that Scandinavian complexion. But no. But spelled the same way, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up here, and after my recent projects finished, I saw the ad, and I'm like, no, what a perfect opportunity to come back. Not like that much has changed.
Like a sign.
Yeah, you could say like a sign.
Okay. Looks over
like reading that morning horoscope, though I'm still not quite sure which one applies to me.
What month were you born in?
I was born in October.
Okay, that makes you a Libra, I believe.
Oh,
That's the month, all right.
yeah.
Were you born before or after October 22nd?
Oh, after.
Oh no, you're a Scorpio.
Oh, I am already Scorpio. Oh, okay. So is that then the one I should read every morning?
Yeah.
Or, oh, okay. I thought this was more complicated. Like,
Sir,
yes.
I have an important question for you. Do we look like a frog to you?
No. Excuse me, sir.
It's a very simple question.
Yeah, you do not look like a frog.
Good. We'll have none of that. I will work with scorpions.
Scorpios.
Understand.
There's no N at the end.
Where did the N go?
I don't think if I remember correctly,
it never had. It's
no,
Latin.
Ah, okay.
It was already Scorpio and MK1 back
Romans. I remember now. Okay. I think looks at Vic. I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
If you want me to do your like a whole birth chart, just let me know, and I know some websites, and I have a friend who's really good at analyzing those things.
Yeah. Thank you.
Takes out the form, stamps it as hard as he possibly can. And the lights flicker again when he does. He doesn't seem to notice. He gets up and he hands the form to you. Welcome aboard. We've got some questions for you. We got a couple more tests for you. And they'll give you. They'll probably give you one, but just in case. And he takes a cup and hands it to you. We will need a urine sample, but we should be good, I think.
It's a drug test thing. That's it.
That too, yes.
Gotcha. So
nothing to do with the ant.
Who do I bring it back here?
I'd prefer not. It's really, I don't have I can only give the cups. I cannot receive them.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
They'll tell you
on the second floor.
Yeah, they'll tell you what to do.
Okay. And then it's Monday here. 8 o'clock?
Yeah. We'll give you a quick briefing at the end, and then we'll get you on your way. Great. Is there anyone else out there, by the way?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, send them in, please. We should have one more.
Will do. And wave with the piece of paper in my hand when I'm 2 steps out of the door and hold up the cup and try to do a thumbs up as I have things in my hands.
Oh God.
And who do we finally see coming in?
So that would be Fran. She's carrying a laptop case because she's just been sent here from IT, and she's didn't think I'd have to go for a second interview, but here we are.
Oh yes, so you've been working in IT within the civil thing.
Yeah, I was upstairs.
Yeah.
I was upstairs, and now I'm down here.
Ah, excellent. Good. Yes, I thought I recognized you. Ned is standing up. I'm Ned. This is Vic, and the lights go out, and then when the lights come back up again, Vic not Vic. Ned is got his back turned to you. He is now at the painting, at this frame on the wall, which he is taking down quickly. He looks up, and he's like, we need to look into something here. Okay. And And he said, and he comes, and he just sort of looks a little discerning. He comes, sits back down. He sets the picture, the photograph down on the desk, and it's yeah, you can see it's kind of at a weird angle now, but you can see it's of an ant that's holding some kind of like little beer stein, and he says, so what was your name again?
Fran.
Fran. Okay, good. Yes. Well, as you're already in the system, this shouldn't take too long. Why do you want to work with the other natural?
I was just sent here, by the higher ups. Just go where I'm told.
Doing your duty.
Indeed.
This is good.
Yep.
Is this good?
Yeah.
This is good. Good. So what do you see yourself doing here? If you could see yourself doing a thing, what is that thing?
Upgrading your IT systems. That's super out of date.
That'd be really good.
Oh, yeah, we're still running Windows XP.
Oh my god.
I had to open Netscape last week.
Oh yeah.
Oh god. It's worse than I thought.
I do feel like we've been at sea for a very long time, because I do see that wheel, that steering wheel every day, that
Mm-hmm.
and sort of rock back and forth like we're on the bow of a ship. It's not good because we're supposed to stay still.
Oh my god.
But everything is all around. We're lost in this sea of disorder, and we need to order it, you see. Do you understand what I'm saying, Fran?
I think so. You want me to upgrade your dial up to fiber?
Well, we can't do that. The cobblestone. There's the old part of the city. There's cobblestones there, and they would have to rip them up. And there's been a lot of complaints about it.
Yeah, they don't like it when you rip them up.
They don't like it.
No.
So,
believe me, I would love to have. I would love to have fiber. I would love to have FiOS. We can do it.
Yep.
Well, the least I can do is upgrade you to at least maybe Windows 7. At a push.
Seven's not bad. It's good to remember these things. But you do understand that they're wanting to transfer you to this division to deal with the other than natural. Yes?
Yeah. It's all part of a day's work, isn't it? Just take it in your stride.
Good. This is a good attitude. And approximately how long is your stride?
Probably a good 3.5 foot.
Oh, okay. That is good. That is good, especially for what we're doing. There's a lot of running, from what I understand. There may be some running.
Oh, as a sprint, it's got to be like 5 foot at least.
Oh, good, excellent, good. That's very good. Man, it was very difficult what happened, but we're past that now. I think that
I have long legs.
Sometimes you must have long legs.
Yeah.
When walking up the stairs of life.
Oh yeah, I take them 3 at a time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't want to get to the top too quickly now. But these things happen. Vic, do you have any questions?
No, No, I have a laptop that I use, and that's like all updated and stuff. But if you could please get Ned's computer to at least run Firefox.
I would very much like to see the fox on fire, if it'll be okay afterward.
It's fine. The Fox is fine.
That's
Don't
good.
tell me you're running like Windows 97.
It's bad.
Running's an interesting word for it, but it's
No, running strides. It all fits together.
it's more sort of an amble.
Oh.
Okay, I think we're good. Your skill set is one that is very badly needed in this department, so I'm inclined to we're good. I think I'm inclined to yes. And he takes the form and he bangs down on it, and the lights flicker again. And he takes the form, he puts it on top of the picture of the ant. He picks both of them up, and he hands it to you. He says, "Please process this, would you?"
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. And he hands you the photograph of the ant and with your form on top of it with the title to be determined later. At this point, his phone rings. He says, they'll have some more questions for you. And he picks up the phone. And just a few tests, yes? And the sort of like, oh, is that it? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. So change of plan. He sort of turns to look at both Vic and you. So it looks like when you're going down and setting up the office, you probably should go ahead and start doing that now, as it seems as though there are gremlins in the electrical system again. And I think this would be an ideal time to test out your skills.
When
and
you say
give you a bonus if you can deal with this without us having to deal with the electricians union.
a little bit outside my expertise, but I'll definitely give it a try.
Gather up, if you would, your other two team members and see what you can do about that, if you wouldn't mind terribly.
But when you say gremlins,
Oh yeah, they're sort of.
oh, you mean actual gremlins?
Yeah, they it's that season. They show up every now and then.
Okay.
It's like The Sims.
Kind of, yeah. I think so. Except they're not Sims.
Yeah.
Okay, I will gather the team and see what we can do.
Oh, great. Welcome aboard. This will be fun.
Oh my god. Oh.
So,
okay, gang.
if you folks like, let's see, we've got about a little north of 20 minutes left. If you like, we could do either a quick, like 2 or 3 3-die mission where you're going and dealing with gremlins, or we can just sort of start circling around, bringing things to a halt, and just describe it narratively. Which would you prefer?
I'd like to just have some kind of like inter-team interaction with the whole group.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that as well.
Okay.
In our lovely office.
Excellent. So, do we want to interact with the rolling system as of yet, or shall we wait until next week to do that? Because I'm good either way. But you could get a few more. You could get a few franchise dice this way if you so desire. A few extra ones to start out with, like 2 or 3. I will put them on the table. Let's see what happens. We'll let's see how this goes. So, as you're going to be coming down into the, you've sort of gathered folks together from their various tests. So suddenly you have to deal with this thing. The electrical unit is in the basement. It's not too far from where your office should be. And one of the janitors, an old janitor, sort of points you the way, hands you some flashlights, and just head down there.
All right.
When And she's looking at Fran when she's saying this. When you say gremlins, do you mean like the sort, or like the sort that are, just sort of chill? There's many different kinds of gremlins, from what I've heard.
The only kind of gremlins I know is like, a metaphor.
Oh, so definitely the kind. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got that vibe. How do we handle that?
Well, Life, you know history things?
Yes. This might be a little bit of an awkward question, so before we go down, check that out. Where should I handed this off to?
Oh,
I hold up.
Oh, no.
There's an office on the second floor. There's like
All right.
a Dropbox.
Dahlia looks at Vic. It's like, wait, was I?
No, you weren't given one. It's fine.
He just looked a bit dodgy. Is that what it is?
Oh, well.
Yes.
I don't know. Ned doesn't. I don't know. Ned gets weird when it comes to graveyards.
We should probably just leave that on the stairs or something. Hope no one steps in it.
I'll be just upstairs then. Second floor, you said?
Yeah, second floor. There's an elevator.
I'll be right back. And I'm taking the stairs.
Yeah, we'll wait for
Good
you.
luck with the gremlins.
Yeah, don't get eaten. The gremlins eat people? I'm not sure.
I don't know. They're like this pig.
God.
Probably, if they're in the electrical system, maybe they feed on the wires or something. I don't really know. I never saw the movie. It wasn't really
The lights are like pulsing now, kind of on and off.
I'm coming back down, and I'm like, well, I guess, it's not like the doors are shut and locked. I guess I gotta take the elevator. And I go over and ding.
Okay, so you press the button, and you hear this big thud from inside, and then you hear,
Oh boy.
and then you hear this sort of giant thud, sort of behind it, and then, and the doors kind of open, but there's no elevator there. You see the elevator shaft, but you don't see the elevator.
Oh.
I've played this Nancy Drew game.
Yeah, I don't really think they want your sample.
Just
Guess
leave it on a shelf. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
I lean in into the shaft, right?
Oh god.
And reach over to one of the sides and just put the
What?
Okay. Matthias, I'm going to ask you to make a stress roll for me. This is stress of
Sure.
one die.
What?
And so this you should be able to, can you see the button, the macro?
yeah. I
Everyone should
you
be
have
able
to activate it,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
Yeah. I did the thing where I'm showing the macro quick bar, and everyone should have access to both of the two different macros. So you may have to go to the thing where the macros are and activate them on your own page. That's the next to the last icon on the upper right hand side under collections.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one. There's 3 dots on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 lines.
okay, that's 3.
Okay. And so stressed, lose a die from an appropriate skill.
Oh my god.
So what skill you can choose temporarily if you're down a die on one of your skills.
What actually makes sense
Having to
here?
deal with this.
Yeah, I'm losing that one die in technology
Excellent.
Rums. Okay.
because it's not behaving as it should. This
Yeah.
technology. As I stare
Turns out
into
you
the
actually did
camera.
something to keep the elevator from being able to reach when you're trying to press.
Yeah.
Do you
Did
see
I
anything
break
in
it?
there?
No, it's dark.
Is anyone got a torch?
Yeah, the lights are like, and they're now like completely out.
Dahlia's gonna step forward and just shine her the flashlight that she was given, like up and down. In the,
Do you first shine it directly into our faces so we all
Oh, of course, of course. Just like after you have to like hit it a couple times to make it work, and it shines in my own face. I'm just like, oh, okay. And then shines it in the dark, looking for like if there's any signs of these gremlins or any kind of little creature.
Okay, so you are looking around, trying to see if a thing is there. So I think, and you're doing this more. So I assume you're sort of doing this more sort of passively, just sort of taking, sort of looking, interpreting, seeing what you see, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm going to treat that as academics.
Okay.
So you make you make a skill roll with the number of dice you have in academics. Okay, 5. Good. So tell me, what do you see as you shine the torch around? You see something. What do you see? And you're going to get a franchise die that I will give you.
I think we see the reflection of like green, almost cat eyes, but something, there's something definitely not feline about them. They almost have that sort of, shape and look, but I think like the sort of, when I shine the light toward them, the shape, the pupils sort of dilate and move and disappears from view.
Okay. So as you're seeing this sounds like you're seeing something really weird and kind of supernatural. So I'm going to ask you to make a 2 die stress roll, please.
Okay.
Oh God.
Okay, so you got stressed because it takes the lowest. Lose a die from an appropriate skill.
I'll probably take the one from academics. That makes sense. If I was
Okay.
looking, that's gonna stress me out.
So yeah, so how do you react when you see that?
Yeah, she sees this and she just goes, "Holy shit!" And I think she drops her flashlight,
You didn't drop it down the shaft.
into the empty elevator
What?
shaft.
What is it?
I don't know what I saw, but possibly gremlins. Just some weird looking eyes and movement.
Could it have been a mouse?
And we hear something scuttling away.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like a big eyeballs for a mouse. But,
Yeah.
I don't know what's in the insides of this building.
I don't know, because I've had rats, and mice are smaller than rats, and rats are about this big, and they have little eyes. And their eyes also don't they're like either all black, so that you wouldn't really like get the I don't know, the thing where the eyes get big when it's dark.
Dilation, yeah.
Oh, like they're
Yeah.
like nocturnal.
Thank you, Fran. They're out at night.
I mean, I've seen this documentary once about Madagascar, and they do have like small critters with very big eyes.
Like-
Uh-huh.
Maki, and I think they're called. Maybe it's something like that.
Do we think that the Public Works building has an infestation of lemurs?
Yeah.
That would be like the animal trafficking thing. That's a crime.
In
That
our
one's a crime.
town?
This is possible, right? Like it can be gremlins, surely.
I mean,
Yes.
it could be gremlins.
You hear sort of from up ahead.
Is
That
that
wasn't lemurs.
is that the sound? Did they make that sound of the documentary?
I'm not sure. I had this. No, I think the thing I saw must have been. So it used this sound effect that you see at the movies.
What,
And at that
like
moment,
the screaming one?
at that moment, you hear just sort of echoing from down the hallway. You hear,
Okay, that's not a lemur. That's not a lemur.
I don't think
that's-
lemurs make
I've-
that noise.
Whatever it is, it seems to be chewing at the cables.
Well, we should probably, and she's just gonna step away from the shaft, like step back a couple of times, and look down the hallway, and just maybe follow it.
Yeah.
How bad?
I'm still. How many of us still have flashlights?
the janitor offered each of you a flashlight, but it's up to you to decide if you have it or not.
Yeah.
No, Dahlia lost hers for sure.
Yeah, Dahlia lost hers.
No, I would definitely take the flashlight.
Yeah, I've got one.
The normal ones like pull out your phone and activate the torch in that, right?
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
not about to risk my phone in here, though. Oh man.
Maybe we should just go that way.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's have a look. Our office is in there too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, should be
Yeah.
fine.
Maybe this is all Vic. You know Ned better than us.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this is all like a welcome party trick, and the gremlins are actually here to welcome us to our new office.
Ned doesn't do parties.
Oh,
No, like we've tried to like somebody found out when his birthday was and we tried to like throw him a party and he just kind of like looked at the cake and the balloons and asked why they were here and then turned around and left.
he didn't.
And then we
even
didn't
eat any
see
of
him for the
cake?
rest of the day.
Oh man.
Oh, I feel a bit bad.
I think that's when you hear a yell from up front. As I've like gone ahead and turned a corner around like those boxes on a couple of pallets, and with like my phone out and like kind of actually looking at my phone screen, which is shining a light, right?
Excellent.
I've like turned the corner and ran like directly into Joseph.
Excellent.
Yes.
And that spooked me so bad that I like jumped back and I against something and
Is it
tipped that
Joseph?
over.
Matthias, as you're up there using your phone specifically as you're looking through,
Yeah,
I'd like you to give me a technology roll.
I don't have.
You don't
any
have
dice.
technology. Never mind. You see, you don't actually see much of any. Never mind.
No.
Oh, great.
Just hearing that scream, like Dolly's just gonna start moving in that direction.
Yeah, we should probably catch him.
Yeah.
Before he...
I'm like in a pile of office supplies.
Are you okay?
Oh, there was someone there.
Are you sure it wasn't just like your phone reflection?
I am pretty sure. And
Just shine your light, and just like pointing
Yeah.
in the direction.
Okay.
One shines the remaining lights.
I feel like I should. So whoever is looking, who is looking deeply into the light?
Oh, I haven't made any rolls yet.
Excellent.
Oh god.
I'm going to call for academics on this one.
Oh god.
Okay, so skill roll. How many things do I have in academics? I think I have 2. Yes. 2 academics.
Yay.
Or fair. Describe the mostly positive result of your action, but you must also include a negative or humorous effect.
Okay, so I So we see like a gremlin, and turns out it's like kind of perched on top of Joseph and kind of like leaps up, and Joseph falls over, and there's just like a nest inside of Joseph. The gremlins have been nesting in the nativity scene.
Okay, that sounds disturbing. So I'm also so I'm now going to need you to make a I'm going to need you to make a 2-die stress roll, please.
Okay.
Frazzled. Okay, lose 2 dice from an appropriate skill, or 1 die from 2 skills.
Oh God.
Oh. Say, I'll lose 1 from academics, and I don't want to drop my academics to 0. So I'll also lose 1 from technology.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
I think
so how do you
I also dropped my flashlight.
Yeah.
God.
Fran
not
is the only
flies.
one keeping it together. What the hell is that? Are they babies?
I don't know. You gotta get closer for that.
Dahlia's
you
gonna
can hear
creep
them now just
closer.
sort of like, they seem disturbed in some fashion.
They
They're-
sound like
they're-
little monkeys.
They're strangely cute and weird, creepy,
But we have
not
to
at
get
all
rid of
cute
them.
way. Dahlia's gonna try to pick one up.
Okay.
Oh
God.
I need you to make a contact roll.
Okay.
Can I advise against this?
I'm doing it anyway.
Look, this is one of those games where you set up your own bed of knives and you fall gracefully into it.
I rolled a 5.
You got a 5, so that's
Oh.
good. You described the result and you gained a franchise die. So this is bringing you closer to the conclusion, which, yeah, we'll probably we're 1 roll away from it at this point. So
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that Dahlia reaches down to touch one of them, and it like scurries up her arm, grabbing, and she's like frozen to the spot, like trying to smile at it, like, okay, yep, cute, very cute.
what is Fran doing at this point?
Fran is kind of watching horrified at this little tiny creature that's now sat on her co-worker's shoulder. I think she's gonna try and like maybe make a grab for it though to put it back.
Okay, so this will be an athletics roll, which could conceivably solve this entire problem. So no pressure. So
Oh
make
my
a
God.
make an athletics roll, please, under your skill.
Oh, skill roll. So I think I have 2. Oh,
Yeah,
let me
you
just
do.
double check. Yeah, I do. Okay. I've written it down as well, but
Ooh.
Amazing. You got an extra die from that. So you may tell me what happens to what you managed to do to solve this entire gremlin problem, and gain 2 franchise dice.
I scoop up the little gremlin that is on Dahlia's shoulder, and I also like grab the whole nest and put them all in a box. That's conveniently full of Christmas decorations and tinsel. Should be nice for them. And just close the lid and just
Yeah.
maybe put some kind of, I don't know, put baby Jesus on top of the box to keep it closed.
They all seem pretty docile in there now.
Yeah, maybe
Nice.
we just need like to, we have like bat boxes in the park where like bats roost. Can we like make a gremlin box?
Maybe near a transformer or something. It seems they like electricity.
Yeah.
Can
Or-
like plug in those the fairy lights.
Oh, that's very homey. I like that idea.
Good, that'll keep them distracted.
Now we have pet gremlins. My God.
Excellent.
There's another rumble in the back as Life is trying to put the office supplies back together in the dark.
Do you need my flashlight stopped working because I dropped it.
Oh
Fran?
god. Yeah, use my. Actually, I better do it because you guys have all lost your.
We should probably still call someone to fix the lighting situation, or is this just how it is down here?
This might be it.
Who knows? Who knows?
Great.
But I think that is where we're going to bring this session to a close.
Next session, we've just plugged in all the Christmas lights and we just kind of hung them up, and that's
Baby
our lighting
gremlin.
situation.
So good.
Thank you so much for playing Inspectors. We will deal with the franchise dice that you got in downtime and just sort of figure out how we want to apply them. I have to decide whether or not I'm going to make any of the stress hits this time stick, since this was just sort of the for starters thing. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about that.
That was so much fun.
This is great. Got baby gremlins.
Baby gremlins. We can go around. Any outros, plugs, any that kind of good stuff. You know how to do that by now. But we can start with you, Jim. And
Right.
Thank you for running this, and it's going to be great.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to do this as a campaign. This will be the first time I've actually run a campaign of Inspectors. It's always been one shots prior to this, so I'm looking forward to it. And this was a very delightful crew to have. This is great, and I cannot wait to see how this franchise or government facility continues to develop. But yes, I'm Jim Ryan. I am OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. That's OTHERDOC. And I am a writer, streamer, and podcaster. You can basically over on my stream, we do on Wednesday, we are doing the second episode of Tremulous, our short campaign for this month. Katie is in that. And we're in 1920s Siberia right now, and seeing what sort of eldritch horrors happen. Let's see. Also, over on my channel, every other week we do. Every other Saturday we do the Cold Ruins of Last Life. Hopefully, we'll be doing that in about another week and a half or so. Matthias runs that, and hopefully we're closing in on it. We got a dragon we got to take care of. That's a Dungeon World, but we're all undead. On Sundays, I do I do one shots of various types, usually indie games. This Sunday, it's going to be Dialect, and I believe
I think I'm in that.
Yes. I'm actually going to be sending out the thing later, the group DM, and it's the first time I've actually had a chance to play Dialect online, and so I'm very excited for that. And so we're having that. I believe there is one more slot left in the last one that's going to happen this month. So if folks are interested in signups for the various games that I do, I'm going to probably put the sign up for an Invisible Sun campaign that I'm running on there soon. I haven't put it on there yet. It's only on my Twitter right now. But if you want to see links to my various other projects and all manner of other things, go to jimyesthatjim.com. And thank you very much, Katie, for having me.
I'm so glad that you agreed to do this. Matthias, what about you?
Hi, I'm Matthias. You can find me at mthsplgr on Twitter. Jim already mentioned in 2 weeks' time our Cold Ruins of Last Life game, and watch out for more spooks this summer coming to you here.
Yes. Sophie, what about you?
Yeah, I'm Sophie. You can find me at Sophie May, as it's spelled below. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and where am I during the week? Mondays I'm here. Tuesdays I'm on Capricorn Cross with our By the Book Cancer Star campaign. We're not playing this week, but we will be back next week. Wednesdays and Thursdays are streaming on my channel, uni work and energy levels depending. And yeah, I've got some one-shot things coming up on Saturdays over on Dylan's channel, which is a Norris's at some point in the future. I need to work out dates. But yeah, and that's where you can find me. Thank you for having me. I'm having fun.
Of course, I'm so glad. I'm glad you could be here. Elle, what about you?
Hi, I'm Elle. You can find me on Twitter at OccasionalL, and you can find the games that I've written at occasional.itch.io. You can find me running Dungeon World on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/harpydora, and every other Saturday playing Masks at twitch.tv/rule, the numeral 4 change. You can also find the podcast of that on your podcast app of choice.
Thank you all for playing and Jim for running this. I'm so excited for this crazy world we've created. It's going to be such a good time. In about an hour, you can find me over on Uncanny Adventures. I am guesting in a Call of Cthulhu Western campaign. I've had a character in the background that I'm finally being able to play for one session. It's going to be great. Wednesdays, like Jim said, you could find me on his channel playing Tremulous. Afterwards, I hop over to Capricorn Cross to play some D&D. And Saturdays, I am on Wandering DM playing more Western Call of Cthulhu. Very fun. Next week, starting on Mondays after this at 6 Central Standard Time, we will be having a Monster of the Week campaign beginning, and then Tuesdays we'll be back for season 2 of our Masks campaign. Everyone is very excited for that. I'm really excited to see how what bad decisions we make this season. But yeah, and like also Matthias said, there will be sign-ups for one-shots and a couple of smaller campaigns of more horror-themed spooky games coming. We're going to be running those from June and July. And yeah, as soon as that goes up on Twitter, feel free to sign up. We would love to have you. And I think that is it. So yeah, we're going to say goodbye and see you all next time for a great, another wonderful Monday morning at work next week.
Yes.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week.